Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It's going to be map number 2, ENCE versus PENTA. Cobblestone will now be the battleground. Map number 1, 16-6 for PENTA. ENCE's pick, too.
Yeah, way more dominant than I think either of us expected.
Honestly, we called 2-0 in favor of ENCE to start this one off. They were the stronger team throughout the regular season. But that just goes to show you how close all 4 of these teams are.
Exactly.
You know? Hellraisers was the bottom seed.
Yeah.
They beat the number 1 seed. ENCE is the number 2 seed. They just lost their own map pick to the number 3 seed. That's how close all of these teams are together right now. So it's great seeing how anything can possibly happen as we go through the day.
Now, because PENTA was a lower seed, they actually had to play a match prior to this.
They did.
They had to play a playoff match just to get here.
Yeah, that was between them and I believe
Alternate
it was Alternate Attacks.
So another German team, and they did beat them. It was a 2-1.
Right.
But, you look at that and you say, okay, well, that was way closer than we would have expected considering how they just dominated ENCE. But the German scene, you could take any of the German teams and pin them against each other. It'd be close.
Yeah.
Like if you've seen anything when well,
that's like the Swedish scene too.
Yeah. So like I remember
Godsent, all those teams.
I remember seeing like I think it was like the German Cup that ESL used to do, if I'm not mistaken. Mouse Sports struggled in that tournament consecutive tournaments in a row, and they would lose to teams like PENTA or even MyKPV or these other like fringe German teams, because typically speaking, those scenes are so competitive within one another. But no one really expected PENTA to come out swinging as hard as they just did, and actually kind of surprised at the first performance there from ENCE. Definitely under the level that we would have expected. It's as much as PENTA played well, ENCE also made a ton of mistakes. It was very sloppy. The rounds they were able to pick up were very close. It could have easily gone the other way. Like the scoreline 16-6, that could have been like a 16-2 because of the few rounds that ENCE was able to take. It did cost them a lot.
Yeah, so moving into Cobblestone, the thing that really strikes me as favorable for PENTA right now is the fact that Standa, who was opting for ENCE, struggled.
Yeah.
Struggled bad.
Yes.
So if he's going to be the one to anchor down the backside of the statue and the B-bomb site, or if he's going to be taking those early picks towards long A on this map and he's not hitting his shots, that does not bode well for ENCE at all, especially since he was the main AWPer. He was the primary AWPer. Alu didn't pick it up until they went into the CT side, and they went for a double AWP setup. So that was really what was the striking contrast for me right there was, are we going to see Standa be able to step up going into this one? And
even the knife round is dominant.
Yeah,
3 players left alive for PENTA. Now the question is, which side do they just select? Because we saw, what was it, Hellraisers, when they won the knife.
They went terrorist side. Or they went CT.
They went
I'm
CT,
sorry, you're talking about Hellraisers. I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about map 1. ENCE won the knife round in map 1, and they went terrorist side.
Which
Hellraisers went CT.
You could argue is the strong or weak side on that map. But on this map, you would expect them to want to switch over to the T side.
Yeah.
But we saw Hellraisers stay on the CT side the first time around. It's not necessarily that crazy to think that PENTA would do the same. And the fact that they haven't switched yet, kind of wonder, what's the decision-making process here? Are they debating where they want to start, or did they say they want to stick to the CT side? We're waiting to find out here.
Yeah, I'm hearing the clicks go, and it looks like they are actually going to opt to stay on the CT side. So they win the knife round, and they potentially actually give ENCE the side that they wanted anyway.
Yeah.
Which is kind of interesting to say the least, because ENCE, if they would have won the knife round, maybe they would have gone to the terrorist side. Maybe that's what they would have preferred to play on this map, and they actually get the option to do that. Now, granted, this is PENTA eSports, their map pick right here, so I expect them to be confident going onto the CT side first. But look at this fast strat going towards long A right now, and PENTA, they've only got one player over here to watch this. That's Lowell. He's waiting for this push to come around, and he spots him too. So it's going to be a retake situation on the A-bomb site. Smoke comes in towards the double doors. That's going to cordon off that area. Trying to tap away is Tossin, but he's not going to be able to get very far. They actually boost a player up over the smoke to see if they can see out there. They actually cannot. So one player close here by the vent. Going to be able to find that opening pick. Sunny not done just yet. Looking for more. He's got the burst fire on, and they finally do dispatch of him. Crystal's going to be able to make it a 4v4.
Alu close at mid. He's going to take the duel with the man coming in on the flank. That's going to be Tabson, who was lights out in the first map, and he continues his dominant form here as he manages to win the duel. Meanwhile, though, Juho did get a kill over towards the bomb site taking down Lowell on the retake here. They still have a kit in their hands, so they have plenty of time to work with Crystal. Gets Goosh, though, down very low on HP, down to 22. Juho with a great shot onto Tabson, and now he gets another one onto Crystal. It's all Mike S here in a 1v3. It seems like it's going to be around for ENCE, and they finally stop the bleeding. They start things out strong here, and really the biggest thing is Juho gets 3 kills to start out the pistol. I mean, I think he had like 3 kills in the first half. At one point, he was on 0 kills for like the first 7 or 8 rounds.
1 and 7.
So the fact that he's able to start out strong here with 3, build some of that confidence back up, could actually be pretty good for ENCE.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing. I mean, that round right there is just confidence building. You can see Stonda is going to go on to the Mac 10, 2 Mac 10s actually. Alu's going to have one as well, and then we've also got Juho that's going to have the UMP. But there you go. There's the trade comes out. Mike S is going to find Alu. Actually, Lowell gets 1, gets a 2nd as well. So now this gets scary for the ENCE side, but Zart is going to be able to spray and pray with that. Galil finds 2, gets a 3rd as well. So order has been restored for the time being. Mac 10 in the hands of Tossin. He's very close on the side right now. Zart has no idea that he's actually that close. And he doesn't actually spot anybody over on the back plat either. If Zart gets a little bit too peeky right now, he could lose his life. But now they spot it. The long-range spray not going to connect, and ENCE managed to pull that one back. But that got scary.
Yeah, and again, shows you how solid that Penta has been with their team play aspect. Whereas ENCE feels a little bit sloppy. Eventually, they do close the round out, but it cost them quite a bit. The side of Penta is just going to hold on to pistols for 1 more round before they come into a full buy. And really, they don't need to necessarily force any fights. It's going to be a Mac 10 in the hands of Alu and Sunny. Stonda actually holding on to the 5-7. If he's going to pick up the op, that makes perfect sense. Meanwhile, Juho with the AK-47 and Zart with the Galil. And Sunny just runs right in towards drop, knowing that this is likely Nico. Tabson, though, manages to catch him off guard. Didn't expect the player to be that close. They've got 1 close to Broken Wall as well. That's going to be Lowell on the back of B Plat, just on the edge. And actually, Zart gets dinked as well. This is just pistols here for the side of Penta. If they get the kill on Zart, it's down to just 1 man standing, and it's Stonda and Mike S in a 1v1.
Oh, you saw him too.
And he's got the bomb on the side. He's got a Mac 10, which is the perfect gun given the situation. He knows that it's just going to be USP. Oh my goodness!
Execution style.
A bullet to the back of the dome piece, and it is Penta picking up a full eco.
Yeah.
Like, they only bought a P250 in that round.
Yeah, but that P250 was crucial, though. Lowell was able to pick up 2 kills with it on those players pushing out through drop side, but that was massive. That was some Boondock Saints-type execution stuff there at the end, too. Lines it up, pop, 1 bullet to the back of the skull. And that was just, I mean, brilliant, brilliant round from Penta. You hate to see it if you're a fan of ENCE, but that's the nature of the game.
Yeah.
Good stuff. They didn't clear the corner, dropping out of drop zone, so not clearing the angles properly. That nets a kill going towards the CT side immediately on a silenced USP. Just a little bit sloppy. And that's kind of been the name of the game for ENCE so far in this matchup is sloppy.
Yeah, and it shows you just how strong pistols are. You don't even have to get the upgraded pistols to pick up rounds. It's just all about positioning and really your teammate making mistakes. If you ask any pro player, they tell you it's not necessarily about who plays better, it's about who makes less mistakes. Like, mistakes are what cost you games, and they're also what win you games when your opponent are making them. And that was a mistake from ENCE. They played really fast, like just barreling into drop, thinking, I have a Mac 10, he's got a USP, it should be easy kills. But they just didn't clear all the angles properly, kind of playing faster than they needed to, and it is what cost them the round. But they still come into this one able to pick up the AKs and an AWP as well on Stonda, but they have limited utility. Didn't seem to matter early on. Getting that pick from Sunny in mid, actually following up with a 2nd as well. So a solid start rebounding from that last round loss.
Yeah, but the big part about this is they've got to clear out this player in the back of the site, and it is Tossin, but he gets 1 and done. He does go down, and now it's going to be this choke point cut off by Zart, and he's just waiting for the rotation. He's going to be able to spray down. Does great damage onto Lowell, but he can't finish him off just yet. And it's just going to be a matter of him coming back around the side, looking for the players on the back plat. Is he going to check this angle, though, this close angle? Right around the corner. That's going to be Mike S. Catches him, takes him down. Now the last man standing is going to be Lowell. He's on the back plat at the B-bomb site, just trying to tuck himself away for safety, but still, I mean, the terrorist side of ENCE, they're on the prowl. They want to take this gun away. They don't want to give him anything. I mean, they won a round with default pistols. Why the hell wouldn't they be able to win a round with 1 M4, right?
And
dunked!
Yeah.
Stephen Curry from downtown.
Yeah, we can't say the
boom shakalaka.
We can't say Kobe anymore.
Nah, man, he retired.
We can say, like, we could probably say Mamba, and it'd be like,
he's still the GOAT though.
It's like,
he's still the GOAT.
Hey, he Mamba'd him. It's like,
yeah,
in memoriam of Kobe Bryant, which makes it sound like he's dead, which is not. but he did retire.
But his career is.
Yeah, his career is over. You know, the primary source of contention on this map is going to be drop, and teams that struggle to perform on Cobble, typically on their CT side, struggle to control the drop room. And so far, that's been where ENCE has found great success. It's also where that one round kind of melted down early on was the drop room. But in that round, they put Zart in drop. He quick flanks, gets kill on A, moves back over towards B, gets both kills there as well. I mean, that was really solid work from Zart and good play from the side of ENCE. They've gotten themselves off to another good start here, though, as they've taken down Mike S early. Crystal is very close on the doors with the CZ75. He has a flashbang as well, so he could pump flash his way in. Zart, kind of similar to his position on the squeaky door on the first map. Very close on the door, hoping to take that duel. The flash finally comes out. They know that Crystal's in this position. They're going to spam through the door a little bit. Meanwhile, though, it's going to be the Deagle of Tapson coming around from long A, picking off Juho, and he does manage to find himself a gun, but probably the least useful one in the field. It's going to be a UMP compared to the AKs and the UMP, or the AWP on Stonde.
Well, you're making fun of the UMP, man.
Yeah.
Huh?
No one likes the UMP.
What? It's the pocket M4. But it doesn't really matter. Sonny's going to be able to find two. Actually finishes off the third as well. That's Lowell going down. Stonda with the AWP is going to be able to find one as well onto Crystal, and that's going to be 4-1. So ENCE, they're off and rolling. They're starting very hot right now. This is kind of what we saw adversely on Cash when Penta started off really strong. And this time around, it's going to be a full save out of the Penta side. They're very low on money. They've got two players, actually three players, that are at 1950. And just looking at the frag total right now, what's that? 8, 11, 12, 13 kills so far in 5 rounds for Penta. So this is like a mirror image of what happened on Cash earlier. So this is going to be a bit of a struggle here. And there's the MAC-10 up close, not even going to give them the opportunity to get those eco kills. And here comes Sonny, right through the smoke. 2 more. Actually, no, only 1 because Mike S just shot his teammate in the back. But the damage was done. Not too big of a penalty from that, though. Not like it used to be. And this is where the decision making has to be, and they are going to go ahead and force up. But the big part about this round right here is they're going to have an SMG on the board, and look at the utility that they have. They pick up smokes and flashes, but they don't have a lot of HE grenades. They have 3. They have no incendiary grenades to throw out after their smokes fade. So this is a really tough spot for Penta. This is a kind of a force up for the most part because they were all sitting around $4,200, $4,300.
I mean, this is a map we've seen both these teams play quite a bit recently and with great success. I don't think either team has lost this map in their last several matches that they've played it. So to see ENCE get off to a great start is promising, but Penta could easily bring this one back. This is a big round for them, though, putting a lot of investment into this, 4 M4s and a UMP on Tabson. We've seen that gun in play a lot today in general. Teams using it when they couldn't afford the rifle.
The UMP?
The UMP, yes.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the armor penetration, actually, I'm kind of surprised that Tabson even went with the SMG as opposed to like a shotgun in the position he's playing. He's over towards the drop room. He's going to flash his way in. It's going to land right in the face of the T-side players, but just behind the lead man. So he has to take that duel, takes a lot of damage. Zart is able to finish him off. Mike S towards the back of site shows himself, and now he's got to be careful. He's going to get mollied out. Down he goes. The player close on drop, not able to do anything either. Only finding 1 kill. Crystal comes in from drop, but he's the last man standing now as Stonda did take down Tazen. It's a 2-on-1. Bomb going to be planted in the B site behind the fountain. Stonda holding on to that all back behind the fountain as well. He's going to jump peek, and now he knows exactly where Crystal's coming from. Crystal actually steps into the molly and takes down Stonda. Great play from him. He's only got 1 to deal with. It's going to be Alu over towards Broken Wall, but he's got position and time to work with, especially considering Crystal has no kit, and that jump peek allowed Alu to get back into a better position as well. So it's going to force Crystal to take the fight.
Yeah, but he can't waste too much time here. He does drop the flashbangs out around the corner. He's going to peek out, takes Alu down, picks up the kit. Beautiful job from Crystal in the 2v1. Really, really nicely played. And it was a risky play jumping up into the fire, but he's able to get the angle proper on that player that's behind Statue, takes him down from a nice spam, actually clips the corner of it and gets the wall bang, if you want to even call it so much as that. And then isolates the 1v1 with Alu, is able to take him down. Beautiful stuff from him. So second round now on the board for Penta, but comes at a big cost. Comes down to only Crystal being alive there at the end. He's going to have an M4. Mike S picks up the AWP going into this round. ENCE could reset him hard right here, and we could see Penta back on the save. And really, that's you control the money, you control the half.
Yeah.
That's the story that you saw in that first matchup as well.
Yeah. So ENCE looking to reset the money here for the CT side, but not starting out well as Alu goes down. Good trade, though, as Sunny manages to get the kill and drop, and that's a lot of control, but they don't opt to take it. Zard somehow finds himself in connector very early on. I'm not sure where he even came from. Did he just run straight up mid?
Yeah, because there was a smoke at double doors. I think he just rushed mid and pushed through the smoke.
That's actually something that a lot of teams will make the mistake of, is allowing that player to just full bore run up mid. You get the rifles in your hand, you play super passive on the A site, maybe putting someone back behind the APC or in the site, and then one on long to tell you that they're coming. But you can just run straight up mid, flash over the wall, and smoke off the door and get right into connector. And you don't even need the drop room. You all of a sudden have this backstab play over towards B. So it is just Tossin and Crystal here, a 2v3, and all too familiar tale for Penta.
Yeah, and one of the big things, too, about that, which I can touch on once this round is over, they've given away one of the positions. Tossin's going to capitalize and takes down Juho. It's going to leave it all on Sunny, who's got 20 HP, and Stunda, who's hitting the shots, and there you go, they shut it down. But what I was going to say is, with him pushing up like that, they already had a player out on back B. So, on the back B platform for the Terra's side, who actually ended up dying to the player that was up on top by Tree, boosted up on top of Square. But the big part about that was enough of a distraction, because I think that the CT that was playing over in that area on the A-bomb site was actually at the double doors just watching for the push to come down through mid. Yeah. And it was enough of a distraction to pull the rotation for the time being that he was able to just hightail it all the way up, not even stop the whole way, and got himself into a great position in order to be able to get that flank kill. So that was a nice call and a nice response from the ENCE side. This time around, though, it's going to be a couple of pistol upgrades, but nothing really too much. Crystal's got a Zeus, so it'll be interesting. He's probably playing down and drop. Oh,
hi.
Flank! Hey, how you guys doing? Never mind, Crystal was actually playing close on mid, and he goes down. Desert Eagle from range, not able to find it. Alu's having himself a little bit of a round here, but Lowell answers back-to-back Deagle shots. He's going to leave it all on Tabson.
Alu's looking for the ace with the Mag-10. He's only got Tabson in connector, so he could potentially win this fight, and he spots him as well. Alu's going to hunt down what would be our second ace of the day, and he's going to pick it up.
Money, baby,
just
money. All 5
flying
kills.
Flying
That's $3,000 on the round from Alu. He just went from 59.50 to 89.50 solely off of that round. Now, granted, obviously, you got more money because they won the round, but you understand what I mean. $600 per kill, all 5 kills. Beautiful stuff. You got to love it. It's kind of funny because he's 9 and 6 now, so he was actually
4 and 6,
underperforming quite a bit. But I mean, his team's up 7-2. He's not in a bad spot.
Yeah, because the reality is your personal performance doesn't matter as long as your team's winning rounds.
Exactly.
So, one of the mistakes that people always make is looking at a player as like, oh man, he needs to be cut. But teams are winning, it doesn't matter. Which is what makes some situations in the recent months with the CS, especially in North America, kind of questionable. You have a team like Optic, for instance, who are winning games and they dropped Shazam even though they were winning.
Yeah.
But that's a discussion for another day. That's NA Counter-Strike, and it's as confusing as, brain surgery. It is a 7-2 scoreline, though, with Penta moving into an
Brain surgery is way less confusing than North American Counter-Strike. But again, there you go. Juho's going to be able to open up. Tossin goes down. And again, it's another save round here from Penta. It's actually a back-to-back save, so they're not going to really have too much to invest into this round. Sadly, though, Alu's not going to be able to get back-to-back aces. They go for the head stack here behind Statue, so they know that at least 2 players are going to be sitting over there, but they break the stack. They're going to fan out a little bit more here on the CT side. Crystal's trying to hold on to mid here with only a P250, but down through drop zone, Tabson's going to capitalize. Sunny goes down, and now it's at least a little bit more manageable here for Penta.
Crystal's really close with this P250. He should be able to get a kill if they go into his direction, but they're going to hightail it out of there and head back towards B, where it's a 3-man stack right now for the CT side, and they do have themselves an AK on the site. Tabson, he's been able to do this before, and we saw Victor do it earlier for MK as well at picking up that rifle. He had to actually pick up the ace in that round, so Tabson does get another one with the AK. Flashed out, gets a third, manages to pick off 3 players, and it's down to just a 1v1. It's Crystal who finds himself the AWP, his trusty rifle, or scoped rifle, if you will.
Oh, the aim punch is too much, though. Yeah, that's unfortunate.
You got to get that first shot. You're not going to have a chance to repeat. Once the aim punch and the tagging take over, there's no way you're getting away. The lack of armor prevents the retreat, and ENCE scary.
Doesn't get much closer than that, though.
But they do pick up the round nonetheless.
Yeah, it comes down to a 1v1. Alu's able to clutch that out. He's actually 10 and 6 now, so doing a very solid job from him. But we'll have to see if they can continue to capitalize here on ENCE's side, because they're looking very good. This is a completely different ENCE than we saw on Cash. And that's
God.
That's
it's just repeat of match 1.
It is. It's a complete, polar opposite that we saw throughout that first matchup. And, it's exactly what happened with eFrag and Hellraisers. eFrag got beat up on their map pick on Cash. Same thing happened here for ENCE. It was even worse. 16-6. I think it was like 16-9 or 16-10. I think they actually got the double digits on Cash, talking about eFrag. But Yeah, this time around it's a little bit more one-sided. Zart's going to open up. Crystal goes down. That's the M4 out of his hands already into this round, and just a great start here for ENCE again. Even though Zart is down to 5 HP, he can still be a bullet magnet and let his teammates trade off of his fallen corpse if he so desires. So it's going to be interesting to see how they revamp this, but it looks like it is going to be a B push.
I mean, it's one of those things that just makes it quite difficult here. Penta. In a 5-on-4, Zart very low on HP. The thing that we talked to Hellraisers about was they kind of went cruise control in the second map, and I think one of the things that separates some of the top tier teams from teams just on the edge is their ability to treat a BO3 as 3 different matches, not one match, where they can get into that comfortability zone, where it's you got to treat every map like it's a different matchup altogether. Right now, though, Penta getting the kills they need, but again, it comes down to a 1v1. This is the 3rd round in a row we've seen a 1v1.
Tossin is struggling horribly for his team, but he's in a great position right now. But he doesn't get the shot. Sunny shuts him down. 3 on the round for Sunny as well, and another round on the board for ENCE.
You know what's interesting to me is that, Penta, whenever they would be in those situations and they would win them, they were very loud, very excited, so much energy.
Much so far this match.
ENCE is quiet too. Even ENCE winning these 1v1s is very just
cool,
calm
and
hey,
collected,
high five, we just won a round, good job.
Yeah.
That's what we need you to do.
Well,
Keep up the good work.
A lot of those players have been in those situations before. I don't think Alu was really ever known for one to be super riled, super riled up when they were celebrating. That was more of when he played on NIP, that was more your get right style. That was more your Forest style, Freiburg even. Alu was always the one that was just kind of laid back, didn't really cause any drama or anything like that on the team. So kind of expect that from a team that he's going to be building, putting together and everything like that. But ENCE, they look good so far here on Cobblestone. And it's another save. It's actually a force-up. Nice shot from Tabson, but it's a force-up here from the Penta side. Tabson still looking for that Desert Eagle frag. Not able to find anything just yet. He could get the opening gambit down, but this time around he's going to get traded out immediately afterwards. Sunny goes in on him. UMP in the hands of Juho. We'll see if he's going to be able to make some noise working his way in towards that drop zone.
He certainly does make a little bit of noise as he goes in on the drop. They're going to hear him, so my guess is going to sit outside of the window with the smoke over towards the opposite side. It makes it pretty obvious that's the direction he's going to go in, so it does give him a UMP to work with, but he doesn't even pick it up. He's going to hold on to the CC-75. Meanwhile, in sight, Tossin trying to put some bullets down, but not able to do so. And just another round. It just continues to go the way of ENCE. That time it wasn't as close as some of the previous rounds due to likely to the fact that Penta was on pistols. But now you're at 10-2. And it's not over yet. I mean, Penta still needs to pick up rounds here, but even if they get the 10-5, it's not a great half. It's not a bad one, but with the way that ENCE is playing, I don't even think that a 10-5 is necessarily likely. They pick up this round, Penta's broke again, it's 11-2, potentially a 12-2. We could actually see a 13-2. It's very believable that that could happen.
Well, here's the thing. ENCE is beating up on Penta right now, but one of the other things to kind of note is the fact that, we talked about Juho not being up to snuff when he played on Cash earlier. He's still not really performing right now. He's the bottom fragger for ENCE. It's really Sunny that's been capitalizing and doing some serious work for his team. He picks up the opening frag here. I think that's his 19th kill in this matchup so far, but Tossin actually with the AWP, the double op setup actually here for the Penta side, and it's working so far. Able to find one, but he gets pushed through a smoke, and Alu's just going to wallbang him down. It's a 2v2 now as Stada actually gets another frag on the board. So what looked good for Penta early starts to crumble again.
Yeah. And they had so much control early on. ENCE went fast towards mid, and then they just didn't make their way up from the half wall. But they continue to use this half wall as a barricade between them and the CT side. So it's really easy to head peek on that half wall. Makes it a very difficult duel for the CT side to win. But it does seem like they're finally going to put things in their hands here as it's down to a 2-on-1. Stunde in sight. He's got the Tech 9. He's trying to wrap around from APC. Gets the low fragger, but doesn't matter. Low wall comes around the corner. So a round that Penta desperately needed. Because economically speaking, you could argue that that round was very important, but really it's just round totals at this point. They need to close out the half.
And that's the thing too. It's not even a matter, they're going to be buying out regardless for the rest of this half anyway, just solely off of the fact that they need to give themselves some sort of room for error going into the second half because mistakes happen. And I mean, at this point still, even a pistol round victory for ENCE going into the second half means that they end up on, if it closes out here and Penta only gets 3 rounds, that they could be up on 15 very, very quickly, shut this one down, and send us to map 3, which is Dust 2. So bear that in mind as we push forward. Head stack over here by Square, and they actually spot it. Oh, but Alu denied. See you later, taps in. It was a great thought, and it was a good, well executed, but Alu just makes it happen, takes him down.
Again, look at this, though. There's 2 players already in drop. There's no contest here from the side of Penta. They're surrendering control of that so early on. Tossin finally going with the Mag 7, puts it to good use, swaps it out for an AK-47, but it's a 3-on-2 post plant right now. And one of the players is really far away from this play. That's Mike S. He's all the way over on long, and Alu just keeping him glued in that position. Alu's just basically here as a nuisance. With the bomb ticking away over towards B, it's really on Tossin to try and retake here. He's already been spotted, and he's taken some damage as well, down to 26 HP.
Man.
And he's running out of time. He has to retreat.
Yeah, he doesn't have the kit. Mike S is the one that's got the kit. And he's still looking for Alu.
Yeah.
And Alu's just like, I'm over here by drop now. You can't get me. And really well played from Alu as well. So and it was interesting because he was the one that was the first out towards B. He was actually out on B plat, got that opening pick on Tabson, took him out, fell all the way back, went all the way back around towards middle, and just harassed that player, harassed Mike S for a really long time, and was able to just neutralize his position. Not even get the kill, not even put any damage onto him, but he was able to just hold him in place for long enough that he can't rotate, and that forced the other player to fall back and save because too much time had been wasted and he didn't have a kit to work with. So really nice play from Alu. You know, it's one of those things, it's kind of an underrated play where, yeah, sure, he's not getting a whole ton of frags or anything like that, but that play alone kind of wins them the round essentially because it keeps the rotation from happening. So
yeah.
Really nice stuff from Alu. They tried to go for the run boost as well, Penta.
Didn't work out well.
Didn't work.
So this is actually what I would have expected to see on the first map, because I thought that this was going to be a 2-0 very dominant performance for ENCE. Penta obviously had the hot hand on Cash, but it's cooled off, and they're now in a position where they're staring down the barrel of an 11-4 half on their CT side. And if I'm not mistaken, they had their pick of the litter when it came to the sides. They won the knife round.
Yeah, they won
opted
CT.
to start on the CT side. Both teams that we've seen do that thus far have lost the map.
That was a mistake, wasn't it?
So Hellraisers did the same thing. They won the knife round, started on the CT side, and we're seeing the same thing here from Penta.
Yeah, but that was a 9-6 half, though. I mean, 6 rounds on Cobblestone is nothing to sneeze at. That's still a very good CT side half, but they weren't able to do anything when they got on their T side. I think they won, what? It ended up being like 16-11, I think was the final score. So they did manage to get some rounds, but obviously not nearly enough.
I mean, we could talk about it at the break, but good shooting from Crystal, gunning down Zart and Stun with the UMP in mid. Gets backstabbed here by Sunny, but Sunny's all alone in a 1v3. It could still go their way with the way that the rounds have kind of...
The way Sunny's been playing in this match, too. I think he's up near 20 kills.
They've constantly gone that direction in these close situations, in clutch situations. ENCE has been significantly successful. But good positioning right now for the CT side. He's going to smoke off the connector door. He's got one behind the APC with the AWP. Nice tapping away as he takes down Tabson. Actually, the AWP has retreated in towards vent room. 15 seconds left. He's going to have to force a plant and force it soon. Gets caught spraying away. Mike S is going to peek out with the CZ75. So it is a 4-11 scoreline.
Yeah.
But, you know, talking about...
I just don't think that's going to be enough.
Talking about halftime scores, you know, 6 rounds, it's basically the point of... It's not necessarily perfect on any map, but it's totally recoverable because a pistol round victory ties the score. So really on any map, if you can get 6 rounds, regardless of what side you're on, at least you're in a position to bring it back. Whereas this scoreline, that's abysmal. Penta is in a really rough spot here. They're 7 rounds down, now moving over to their T side. ENCE picks up the pistol, and we're likely moving to map 3.
Well, they're desperate for this pistol right now, Penta, if they want to hang on. At least they got up to 4 rounds, which means that if ENCE does win the pistol round, it'll put them, and they execute their anti-ecos properly, that'll put them at 14, barring bomb plants, of course. Penta could get a buyout at 13, but I mean, it's just they're in a really rough and awkward position. Now they go onto the terrorist side, so now and that's one of the reasons, you know, they go onto CT side. They want to know how they stack up going into the second half. Right now, not good.
Yeah.
Not good at all. Only able to get 4 rounds on their CT side, but now they at least know where they stand going into this half, and now they're going to be able to try and chisel away at the lead that has been built up by ENCE. So right now, crucial round for them. They're actually playing 2 over here in Chicken Coop. A little bait and switch, I believe. Alu is actually playing as the baiter in this situation. So if the execution comes in towards that B-bomb site, that player peeks out, maybe gets a kill, maybe gets traded immediately, maybe gets dropped immediately, but is still going to be able to give them the option possibly for a little bit of a sneaky play. And you can see Alu still just burying his gun into the wall. Yet to come out are the terrorist side, and there you go. They find Sunny, who was playing in the chicken coop, but Alu actually does end up peeking out. I'm kind of surprised by that. He goes down immediately afterwards. They had no idea that he was in chicken coop. I would have really liked to have seen him bide his time and be a little bit more patient there, wait for the push to come around. Now, granted, maybe he did get pushed. We didn't see it from the other side. Maybe a player came around from broken wall and actually pushed his position, but that was a huge pistol round win for Penta.
Yeah, but even if they chain these together, they're still down quite a few rounds.
Yeah, but 7-11 is a lot better than being down 13 or 14-4.
Yeah, plus they're open 24 hours. You can get a Slurpee or a hot dog whenever you want. So
beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Taquitos. Let's get some.
Oh, dude, taquitos are great.
So, free publicity for 7-Eleven.
Well, it was Cinco de Mayo the other day.
We'll be sending you a bill.
Celebrate Cinco de Mayo with some authentic taquitos.
Authentic Mexican food, the taquito. Only according to Americans would that be considered authentic.
America.
Either way.
Hey, boy.
We are live here in the second round of the second half. It's going to be Penta going into the bye. On the opposite side, we've got ENCE forcing up a little bit. Sunny with the CZ75 armor and an HE. Alu picking up the Deagle and some armor to back it up. The rest of the players just on pistol armor. Stunned, actually not putting anything, no investment into the round. Just a P2K.
Yeah,
understandable.
We saw Penta. Or was it Penta that got the eco round win with just pistols?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was, no, it
was. Yeah,
yes,
it was.
It was.
It was when they were on CT side, yeah, because it came down to that
really,
1v1, yeah.
Yeah. It was ENCE making big
Sorry,
mistakes.
guys, we're American, and it's the jet lag's starting to catch up to me right now, so
yeah,
my brain's a little mushy.
I need a few more Red Bulls. And they are to drink. They aren't just for display.
They're not just for the commercials.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's the good thing. It's going to be a two-man holdover towards B.
Nice segue, by the way.
With three players stacked up over towards A, hoping that maybe they would make their way out in that direction. Alu's got that Deagle behind Fountain. He's actually a really good position. If he gets the first 1D, he can make it that much more manageable. Has to prevent them from getting into the site. Goes for the wide peak. Really, he was running low on time as Mike S had gotten control of drop, so it was only a matter of time before Alu went down. Coming in quick towards the window is going to be Zart, putting some bullets into Mike S, but
good flank
they eventually take him down through Sunny CZ75. They get the MAC-10. It's kind of limited firepower to work with, though.
Yeah, but I mean, they're going to be on another save going into the next round. That MAC-10 played at an awkward angle, close up, might actually be able to do some damage. And they throw it up. That was actually really nice. They throw it up to Sunny. He might be able to actually go down towards long B and find some kills. Yeah, you can see him. He's just hanging around here for a little bit, hoping that one of those players actually exits this direction, and it is going to be Tossin. So here's the thing. He's playing a close angle with that MAC-10. If he's able to take down Tossin and potentially the second player, all three of them are actually going to exit this way. So this is really scary right now, but they do find him to begin with, so it negates everything that I was even going to say. But he had potential to pick up a couple of kills and maybe get an AK-47 out of that situation. But again, ENCE exiting together. There was something that I talked about when Penta was playing on their CT side on Cash, and ENCE actually picked up a round where all four of them exited towards CT spawn. That's so important not to give away any free guns. And if you do get taken down by somebody on the other team, you've got a player available to be able to trade that kill out.
Yeah.
But, you know, we talked about Juho. He still has yet to get a kill since we just talked about him before. He was like 7-9 before. He's 7-15 now. So in a little bit of a rough spot, not having the performance that he would obviously like. And nades and mollies and, well, not even mollies, nades, AKs, and MAC-10's going to do the work this round. There it is. Taps in and a little finish off the round, and done and dusted, 7-11, just like we talked about.
Yeah. And, I mean, looking at the recent history for Juho, he hasn't had too much success recently on LAN. His previous performances, when he played with other rosters like Rocat or some of the Pug teams he played at some of the smaller European LANs, he played well, but now that he's matching up against higher competition, he's been struggling on LAN, posting a .94 HLTV rating. It's not necessarily the greatest, 74 ADR average.
It's not terrible.
It's not bad. You know,
but
they're
you also
not
have to think about what
stats.
quality of teams he was playing against to get those ratings as well.
And then you have to look at the fact that the reason you even compare it is because of how well he played online versus that. So he's clearly still waiting for that big.
Is something like a 1.14 or 1.2, isn't it? It's something ridiculous, especially after the regular season of ESEA. Had a kind of a monster season going through this last season. Like we said, I mean, he was the top damage in the league. He was the top FPR, I believe, in the league throughout the duration of the season. So to see him come in onto LAN and kind of struggle a little bit is a little bit shocking. And it kind of sucks, you know, because obviously ENCE need that fragging power, especially when you looked at how it went down on Cash. I mean, that was an abysmal performance from them. Very weak.
It's
sloppy,
very comparable.
The word that we've been using the whole time, sloppy.
It's very comparable to the North American team Selfless. where you have Uber, who online is like this strong, powerful, competent fragger, but then on LAN, he's struggled at multiple tournaments that Selfless has played at. And it's not necessarily, doesn't mean he's a bad player. He still has good lands sprinkled in, but it's these performances that make it quite difficult. Here, it's not having too much of an effect, but it definitely had an effect on map 1 when they were getting kind of trashed on by the side of PENTA. But PENTA's still in a position where they could bring this one back. It's going to be ops on both sides for both teams. We've got Mike S picking it up for the T side, and then the CT side, Stonda, no surprise there. A 1-for-1 early on, but it's going to be Stonda chiming in from the back of sight, goes for a jump peek from the barrel so he can spot the players coming up, but it's actually going to be Crystal getting one. Tassin now takes down another, but the time is ticking away here. There's only 7 seconds left. They haven't dealt with this off in the back of sight. Needed to get that kill big time. It would have won the round because there just wasn't enough time to get the bomb plant, and Tassin knew it, goes for the wide peek. He misses the shot, not aware of the fact that he was very low on HP. PENTA pick up a huge round.
That's really unfortunate right there. Stonda, I mean, he had every opportunity kind of handed to him, picks up 2 big kills, but he's just boxed in. He has nowhere to go. It's not like he was getting those kills from the connector, double doors going in towards that window room where he could just run away. Yeah. He was just stuck. And if he hits that shot, like you said, he wins the round. It was like 3 seconds left when he actually hits that shot. The other player was on the other side of the square coming into the bomb site from right there. He might have been able to get there in time, but it at least gives him a better opportunity to be able to win that round based off of time expiring. But now you can see 3 players kind of forcing up into this round from ENCE. 11-8, PENTA, I mean, they only got 4 rounds in the first half, but it was a question, is it enough? And so far, they've been flawless on their T side. 4 rounds already. They've doubled their round score in the opening gambit of this half.
Tabson looking to spot the player close on the broken wall. It's going to be Sunny jiggling with the CC75. He has to be careful. You got to be careful with all those bullets. You don't really get too many of them, so you can't waste them too much. He's just going to go jumping up on the wall, looking to spot the information. So he gets his team all of the intel that there's multiple players here, but you can see PENTA realizes this.
Mass retreat.
Wise play here. Mike S has already pushed up all the way on long. The fact that he goes for that jump peek, spots out all the players, including the bomb, means that ENCE knows the bomb is in this area. PENTA wisely falls off, heads back towards the A site. It's going to be a freebie plant here, and an unlikely retake given the fact that there's no kid on the side of ENCE.
And again, I mean, open bomb site over in A. That one player goes for the peek. They read it right. PENTA probably just expecting that one player that was jumping up on top of the wall to try to bait him into pushing into the site into where that stack is and not falling for it. Look at this spot by Mike S. Perfectly positioned there. Finds the opening pick. Stada goes down. One more to beat over here in this little murder room where the murder hole is. That's going to be Zart going down. Nice shot from Lowell. Takes him out. 9 rounds now for PENTA within 2. And can they complete the comeback? Can they close this one down in a 2-0 fashion and send ENCE home? Can we see our number 1 and number 2 seed go out before the grand finals? Because Hellraiser's already in.
Yeah.
E-Frag eliminated.
Yeah. The only thing you could argue is that the 1 and 2 seed were so close. The 3 and 4 seed were so close to the 1 and 2 seed.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't
there was not much of a difference.
Yeah, it's not like you have like the wild card team coming in. They barely made it, scraped together a victory. This is teams that are very evenly matched. But even still, because they're so evenly matched, you wouldn't necessarily expect a 2-0, especially from PENTA, who in their last few lands has not had much success. But on the same side, neither has ENCE really. This is a big opportunity for them to move up in towards the Pro League. They're sort of falling apart here in the second half. They need this one to force map 3, which we thought was actually going to be the opposite story. We thought it would be PENTA needing to force map 3. But it's actually looking like PENTA could bring this back and prevent a map 3 from even occurring.
Yeah, and that's the big thing, too, because, you know, if you look at the statistics and everything like that, Dust 2, PENTA's got a 43% win rate on, whereas on the opposite side, ENCE is a 63% win rate. It's their second best map.
Yeah.
And that one comes through on the pool. D Inferno is actually their best map, which is why I was kind of surprised. I mean, they've got the same win rate on Cash, but they just got bodied on Cash. Then they come out on the terrorist side of Cobblestone and have a very good showing, 11-4, but now 5 rounds in a row for PENTA, and they're within 2. They've got an opportunity, again, because they're ruining the economy of the CT side so much throughout these rounds. Even if ENCE wins one, and this would be the worst case scenario, ENCE wins a round, it comes down to like a 1v1, and then they lose the next round. They've got no money. They could be on a double save, and then you could see a tied game or within 1 for PENTA, and then all of a sudden you've got this 12-11 score line, and at that point it's anybody's game.
Yeah.
So this game is actually a lot closer than some people think it might be. And a nice dink being dealt out right there, so that's nice. No need to come up. There it is. Boom! See you later, Crystal.
There you go. Great shot from Stunde in the back of ESEA. He's been lights out, but he just hasn't really gotten much support from the rest of his team, and you can see both of them go down, Zart and Stunde. Now Juho drops as well. So what started out so promising for the CT side has fallen apart a little bit. Sunny does get in there just in time to catch Lowell as he tries to make his way into the site, but an immediate trade out by Tossin. Bomb goes down. It's going to be on Alu, who's already rushed around towards the broken wall, spots one towards long. But Mike S is in a really good position, regardless of how that duel goes. Just cycling around the hut. Alu's going to peek up towards the site, and Mike S hits a huge headshot. And that is a big round for Penta to pick up. They've brought themselves within one.
And the money.
Yeah, the CT side is in a spot where you kind of think that this is a good time for a pause.
I would call
time
a
out.
pause.
I would call a timeout if I'm
ENCE. Call a pause. Take the opportunity, because it is a save round. Take the opportunity while it presents itself. That's one of the things that some of these, well, I mean, not to say inexperienced or anything like that, but some of these, you know, not pro league teams, not your tier 1 teams, they don't
fringe teams.
Think about, teams that are right on the outside trying to get in and get that opportunity, things that they don't necessarily think about. You get a pause. Take the pause. Talk things over. Cool down. You know, you've got yourself an eco around here. They do invest into a little bit of armor and some pistol upgrades, but take a minute. Take a breather, you know, reset yourself, because obviously Penta, they're on a tear right now. They've got 6 in a row. They're 1 round away from tying things up. You're already down 1-0 in this series. So take a minute. Think about it yourself. And, I mean, just looking at the odds for this match, 72% in favor of ENCE. That's just Penta shocking everybody right now. Nobody, I mean, 28% of people thought that they had a chance. And right now, I mean, they're making this comeback very viable, very possible. And if they continue on this route, they're going to end up 2-0ing ENCE and sending them home.
Think about the mental state right now of ENCE as well. So you started this game out 11-4, and now you're up by only 1 round, and it's an eco. So you're likely to see a tie score. So you've given up 7 straight rounds to your opponent. How is your team feeling mentally? Clearly not well.
Especially after getting beat up real bad on your map pick. But here you go. Look at that, man. An explosion of 4 kills. Granted, one of them was tossing on a Thompson. But, I mean, with that in mind, this is just... Oh, nice shot from Sunny, though. Still manageable for ENCE. I was actually going to say this round is pretty much done, but, I mean, it's not over yet. They're going to actually boost up onto the drop side and send a player around through long B. And the other player is going to come around here from the drop room. But that smoke, he's going to have to push on through. Let's see if he's going to be able to do anything. They've doubled up. 1 in Chicken Coop, 1 at the back of Statue. We're just watching for the push around from this smoke. But again, a lot of damage being dealt early on. There's the kill. Tossin's going to find it. Last one's going to be over here on top of Broken Wall. And Sunny goes down. We're all tied up here, 11-11.
And you know what? The one thing that we said about ENCE in the first half was they weren't super emotional. Like, they would win rounds and they'd be just like, good job. Way to go.
Yeah, you can hear Penta starting to get hyped, starting to get screaming.
Yeah. Penta has been very emotional throughout the first map and this map as well. Now they've brought it back. They've tied it up. You can hear them.
Well, they were very quiet in that first half.
Well, yeah. Well, naturally so. They weren't. Yeah. They didn't have anything to really be excited about. Even closing the map out when they win the rounds, they were. It was like, all right, we're down by a lot. We can't be too crazy. But I mean, they're feeling really good now. They've brought it back. They've tied the score up. Thompson, what is going on? Thompson just cooks over towards B. I think he was in drop and maybe got flashbanged out or was sitting behind a smoke. Every once in a while, you catch the molly just on the cusp of the smoke. You can barely see the fire, but he just sits in it and loses all of his HP. Not a single bullet went into Thompson. It was pure molly damage. So a great start for ENCE here and around. They really want to pick up, try and build some momentum back in their favor.
I actually I was watching a little bit of the Seoul Minor Qualifier. There you go, a little bit of a battle there. Alu's going to get chipped down to 28, but I was watching the Seoul Qualifier, and there was an invisible molly bug that happened during it on Overpass where somebody dropped a molly down in a monster. Now, you could still hear it burning, but you couldn't see the animation. So they just had to wait for the sound effect to go away, and then they were able to push on through. But Mike S, nice shot onto Juho. Juho continues to struggle. It's 4-on-4. They've got 2 more players to beat over here at this bomb site, but they spot the shoulder of Zart sticking out from behind the wall. They take him down. Stonda able to answer back. Gets a second one, but it's going to be all down to Sunny now, and he's coming around from the flank down here at the bottom side of mid. Does manage to get the kill onto Mike S, but it's going to be down to Tossin and Sunny. That nade dunked on his head. But again, this 1v1, and Sunny not really changing up his position, not going around towards the dangerous side. He's going to spray down, and Tossin gets it. Penta, they get their lead back. They're finally back in control. Actually, I think this is their first lead of the matchup, and it comes in the 24th round. 12-11, yeah, Penta bringing it back from 4-11.
So The only thing that played toward ENCE's favor there in that 1v2 is that the bomb lands on APC. Mike S has to jump up on the APC. I think it was, who was the last man standing? Stonda, or was it Sunny?
Sunny.
Okay, so it's Sunny in mid. He gets the basically free frag on Mike S, who has to jump up to try and retrieve the bomb. They were running down low. It was about 35 seconds left, so he needed to get it back. But then the bomb falls off, and all of a sudden, he's in control again. Penta has control of the round. They have the bomb. They have the site. All he needs to do is go and pick it up, and he ends up winning the duel anyway. And that's just how things have gone thus far, and it's forced ENCE to be back onto an eco here, and it's a force buy. They're going with pistol armor, and it hasn't worked out well for them early on, dropping both players in mid. The rotate is already on here for the CT side. Juho drops a smoke towards APC. He's got the CZ75, but down he goes.
Just really rough times here. Not a player gets dropped from Penta. Clean round, all 5 alive, 13-11. Penta could do this here. That is now 9 rounds they have won in a row here on their terrorist side. Completely flawless throughout. Lol up at 20 kills, 19 kills for Tossin, 19 kills for Thompson. I mean, Tabson was your big man player in Cash. I mean, he just was bodying ENCE throughout that matchup, doing work. And he was slow to start in this match, but now he's kind of caught back up, and they've kind of equalized the frag counts. And you can see, I mean, Penta, they're going to speed up behind this. The smokes go out. They're going to push that player out onto long B. They actually drop down. They have no idea this player that's in drop. He's going to get taken down. Juho and Stonda both simultaneously go down. Tossin and Crystal on the board this round, and the B bomb site is open for business. All 3 of the rest of the CTs have pushed around long A. They've got no map control. Bomb is planted. 5-on-3. This is a save. This has got to be a save.
Yeah,
14-11 for Penta now.
And I think, you know, really one of the big factors for Penta was kind of the unknown, what you were going to expect from 2 of the players that are a little bit less known, like Lowell, who played in the Spanish scene, coming from teams like G-Bots. He hadn't necessarily played with this team as of yet on LAN, as far as I can see. I'm looking through the match history. This is his first LAN with Penta. He's playing quite well. Mike S also playing very well. The 2 players that aren't German seem to be performing with limited, trying to think of the word, just can't think. This is jet lag, brain farts. But either way, those 2 players have been performing quite well. You can see Lowell sitting at 20 and 17. Just below him is Mike S, 17 and 15. He's picked up the op from time to time when necessary, but he's also been solid. Not necessarily top fragging, but solid. Yeah, exactly.
That string around's flawless so far on the T side. And we thought, you know, ENCE had a very solid T side half, 11-4, but 10 rounds in a row for Penta. Started with that pistol round. Then they started to get hype, and now they're just carrying that momentum throughout this half. This is last-ditch effort here from the CT side. They actually go into a double-up setup. Stonda and Alu are both going to have the AWPs. And again, I mean, mid-control trying to be taken here from the terrorist side. They've got 4 players over here trying to harass this double door in mid. Or single door, I guess it would be, but trying to spam through, throw a little bit of damage out there. Alu with the op over towards B. They've got the other AWP playing over towards A in the hands of Stonda. Just really tough position for him to be in. Stonda just peeking for that push to come around through the door. It's not going to happen. They actually both fall off of mid right now. So they're going to revamp. One player is actually going to push over. That Zart going down towards long A. Stonda's going to go back to probably his favorite position. Up on top of the hut there in the A bomb site.
He's played in that position so well.
Yeah, every time that they've gone that he's had an AWP, he's gotten 2 kills at least.
Yeah. And
it's just the rest of his team collapsing around him is the problem.
He loses his support player, who's usually towards the double doors or maybe coming in on the flank. Stonda, there you go again, getting that first kill, chiming in with the AWP towards the half wall. There's still Lowell in position, though, so he's got one more to contend with. Over towards B, they're going to get a couple of frags as well. Sunny finds 2 on the round. Alu uses his AWP to take down 1 more, so the double op set up a bit of a gamble here for ENCE, but it does work out. 14-12, but still so much money stored up on the side of Penta. Winning all those rounds in a row, dropping as few players as they did, they've got more than enough to buy with.
And here's the thing. Now that they know that ENCE is working with a double up setup because Alu and Stonda both got kills, I expect to see them speed up behind this. I would love to see just a really fast B hit or maybe a fast execution down through middle. You've got a player that's playing very aggressive down there. That's Art on the other side of the doors. They molly it. But I would have loved to see him go for a very fast strategy, maybe go towards the B-bomb site, smokes and flashes, try to execute as fast as you possibly can. Don't give Alu a chance to get those AWP frags. Don't let Stonda get an opportunity to rotate before you get into the bomb site. But they're going to go back to this spammy style that they've been playing throughout this half, which is working for them. But finally, ENCE is at least on the board. It took 11 rounds in the second half to happen, but they finally get another round.
I mean, if you're ENCE, all you have to do is play passively. The way that they played that early on was they threw mollies instead of throwing smokes early on, knowing that, yeah, we just showed our hand. They know we have ops, and they know we have 2 of them. So what we need to do is prevent the fast play. So on A, they molly long and mid, rather than throw smokes, knowing, okay, if we see a smoke on top of that, we need to bail, because they're probably right behind it, about to jump through. So smart play from ENCE early on to use the mollies to not only give them a little bit of intel as to what's happening, but to buy themselves time to get into proper position. Either way, Penta could still play this one fast when it comes to the execute. They're going to barrel out in towards drop. The double op is not exactly going to favor itself well towards the drop room. They are going to position one of those ops back in chicken coop. It's going to be Alu watching the broken wall. Molly lands right under his feet. Doesn't matter. He comes around and gets the player coming out of drop room, but because of the lack of control in that position, due to the double op setup, it did work out well. Sunny finding 2, though, coming off the broken wall. Towson with an immediate response, but it is a 2v3, and there's very limited time for them to work with here.
Yeah, they need to get on the site and get the bomb plant, but they're going to actually take the wide peak. Zart comes in and takes down Crystal. Fake plant, trying to get the spam out. Doesn't know that there is a player that close to him, and there it is. Juho's going to push around, 14-13, and now we've got to pause. You got to think that this is probably going to be Penta calling this. They've got plenty of money to go into another full buy. But the thing is they've just got to deal with this double up. Alu is going to be right back onto the AWP, even though he died. They mollied him out of chicken coop, which was the right play. He just hit a really nice shot onto that player coming out through drop.
I mean, the mistake there maybe in that 2v3 was that you could say, oh, Towson can go plant the bomb. But yeah, you know, if he does that, he's abandoning his one teammate. It's a 1-on-3 essentially while he gets the bomb plant down. If he dies, then it's post plant with a 1-on-3, and they're just surrounding him. But
Sunny's on the hard carry right now, 32-17 for him. He's having a hell of a match.
Yeah, he's really been one of the key reasons that they've been able to pick up as many rounds as they were in the first half. Second half, he's been getting a lot of kills, but unfortunately they haven't been turning into rounds for them. Same with Stun. Stun has been on the A site with that op. He's been getting a lot of kills, but consistently was Penta picking up the rounds.
Juho at 10-22. The last that we'd really talked about him, he was 7-17, 7-15 or something like that. So still continues to struggle. Ever since that, he went like 3-8. So definitely not having the impact that he normally does for this team, which is a little bit unfortunate. But in this situation, I really fully expect to see Penta pick up the pace. I really do. Now, they went for a fast execute on towards B last round. It almost worked for him, but I would love to see a fast, aggressive execution maybe towards the A bomb site. Try to get in Standa's face, take him down, double team him. Don't give him the opportunity because, like you said, when his teammate folds over there, when he goes down, that A bomb site is so vulnerable.
Yeah.
One smoke holds off one of the main choke points coming back into that site at the double doors.
Yeah.
So if you can hold off the rotation, even if you're at a main disadvantage, you get in there and it's a 2-on-3, or you get in there, it's a 4-on-3, favoring the CT side. You can smoke off the choke points so easy. Dump a smoke up into heaven, dump a smoke by the double doors. You only have to worry about a player flanking you or a player coming through the murder hole. And aside from that, you can pretty much fully control the entire site and then pick your angles that you want to play in your post plant. Put somebody underneath of heaven, play backside of the APC, push up close by where the murder hole is, or play one down behind the half wall, or even down on long A as well. And you've got so many different angles that you can utilize in that area. But Penta, I mean, they've gotten 10 rounds so far in this half. It started 4-11, so it's been 10-2 in favor of Penta. I still think that they can close this out. This is really the big conversation for them right now is what do we do into this round? And I would love to see them pick up the pace.
I mean, the one caveat to playing fast towards B and smoking off connector and smoking off the balcony is that you can throw a flash in from connector and your player balcony can strafe jump through the smoke and land back behind the APC. Basically unseen, depending on the position of the T side in their post plant, if they've even gotten that far. If you play it fast before the bomb goes down, you can totally catch them off guard. Depends on their position, though, coming up from mid as well. You can also drop a second smoke in front of the smoke, walk through it, go right up to the half wall. So you get on the opposite side of the half wall in mid, again, assuming that there's no T-side player sitting on the other side waiting for you, typically speaking, before the bomb goes down. It's not as common to have players in those spots. Usually that's a spot you flush to after the bomb goes down. Still could happen. But a lot of decisions being made by Penta here in this pause. They had a lot of time to talk about it. They're still smiling, looking over on stage. They're having a good time. They're feeling pretty confident. They're up 14-13, 1 round away from securing tie point, 2 rounds away from closing things out 2-0. The opposite side, ENCE, has been struggling, but they've been able to bounce back and at least keep it close one round, and they actually might be able to upset the money here from PENTA. It really comes down to how the round plays out. I think PENTA will still be able to buy in the next round.
Yeah, they've got a good bank. They're going to go for another full buy probably into the next round if they do drop this round. But that's if. That's a big if, too.
Yeah.
Molly comes out from Stonda down in mid. They've still got Zard over here playing towards long A, but they've gotten drop control from Penta's side. Smoke does come out. Tabson over by drop, just looking for anybody to come out through the window side. He actually knows that there's a player over there, but he's got to worry about his left side angle. That player comes around. It's Alu with the AWP. He's going to be able to find the opening pick. So ENCE back in the driver's seat, but Juho goes down immediately afterwards. Molotov comes out over in that area and actually smokes out over top of that. Another smoke picked up by Crystal. He's just the utility god right now, but it's going to be Zart to be able to find one more. As it looks like it is going to be a split coming in towards the A-bomb site. Zart finds a second, but Crystal and Mike S, they close things down over here towards that A-bomb site. They only have Stonda to deal with, but Alu behind the smoke, giving up his position. And Crystal going to go up onto the high ground right now and wait for Alu to come around the corner. It's 2 ops versus 2 rifles. And Mike S coming around the side. They pinch on him and they take him down. And now it's going to be Stonda who's out of position. They're going to be able to get in towards the B-bomb site. And I like that play. A delayed split towards the A-bomb site. It catches them off guard. They catch out the rotators. And because of that, they're going to be able to put themselves into a position to be successful. All they need to do, Mike S just needs to sit behind Statue and wait for the push to come around because Crystal is so low right now. There's no reason for Mike S to peek and throw away his life.
I think Stonda just saw the shoulder of Mike S there too. He kind of second guesses it, and Stonda peeks. So, Mike S peeks, and Stonda's going to get the free frag. Crystal sitting up on the half wall. Good timing. I don't think Stonda was prepared for that fast peek. He basically catch him as soon as he taps the bomb. Good awareness from Crystal. And that brings us to the 15th point here. PENTA just 1 round away from 2-0ing ENCE, a team we thought we'd see in the grand finals.
For sure.
But another double op setup coming in from the CT side, despite the fact that they have 2 SMGs in play. It's going to be the big green cannons on Alu and Stonda that the side of PENTA has to deal with.
Yeah, but they also got to deal with Tossin, who had the spawn, so he's going to take the op towards long A and wait for an aggressive push to come out. Back into that same default that we've been seeing PENTA play, where they take over a little bit of mid-control and spam through the doors and just wait for any kind of aggressive push. But here you go. There it is. Alu's going to go down. They lose one of the ops early in the round. So really nice patience there from Tabson. He's going to be able to find Alu, takes him down. And now they got to watch out. Crystal, he's lurked his way out onto Plat.
It looks like Sonny wants to see him. Oh, he's going to catch him off guard. The backstab.
Beautiful.
It's all on Stonda and Zard here as Crystal catches off both players in the B site. Molly to land just inside the door. Stonda can't get in position in time with the AWP. He has to wait for the Molly to dissipate or work his way in towards drop, which is not ideal. It hasn't been cleared in any way, shape, or form. Crystal very close on the door as well. Could absolutely punish ENCE as they make their way in towards the B site.
Yeah, and they're going to play it safe. Now the push comes in. No scope though. Stonda with a ripper, but there it is. Tabson and Lowell shut it down, and that is going to be a 16-13 victory for PENTA. They're going to meet Hellraisers in the grand finals for ESEA Premier. And we'll have to see which one of these two teams is going to be able to walk through with the grand final victory. 2-0 for PENTA. You've got a bit of a stunned ENCE down there right now. We thought that we'd see a little bit more from them, but even after an 11-4 half on the terrorist side of Cobblestone, they can't get it together.
A lot of bro love on stage right now. A lot of hugs going back and forth for PENTA. They were down 11-4 at half.
Yeah.
They brought it back and closed things out. A dominant performance in the second half. The first half left a lot to be desired, but they made up for it. And map 1 was really all PENTA. So map 1 and the second half of map 2, all PENTA. They just completely obliterated ENCE. ENCE is left stunned. They're just sitting there kind of shaking their heads. How did this happen?
That's the thing. I mean, ENCE gets the start on the terrorist side. PENTA decided to go on CT side. They win the knife round. They go CT side. And that was basically to just kind of weigh what they have to do, what they have to accomplish into the second half. They pick up the pistol round, and they just roll.
Yeah.
They just roll. And that was just, I mean, that was a beautiful, beautiful comeback from PENTA. They completed, they sent ENCE packing 2-0 fashion, and we're all set for our grand final now. So that's going to be absolutely astonishing to see. And it's kind of funny because when you look at it, PENTA played really strong on Cash. Hellraisers played really strong on Cash. Hellraisers didn't look so good on Cobblestone, but PENTA complete the comeback on Cobblestone. So it makes you kind of wonder what we're going to see as far as the vetoes for the grand final are. Yeah. Are they going to want to play each other on Cash when they both had severely strong performances on it?
And then are they both going to want to play each other on Cobble as well?
That's the other side of the
both
spectrum.
Teams, we've seen both maps thus far played out. Both teams had very similar performances.
Yes.
Dominant on Cash, Cobble, shaky. At least PENTA brought it back in the second half, whereas Hellraisers was unable to do so. So now, like, you kind of question, what map pool are we going to see?
Yeah.
Will we see one of the teams come out and say, you know what, nah, no cash for us. We're going to play a map that we feel more comfortable on, that we think you're not as comfortable on. Just comparing the map pool for both teams, Cobble was a map that Penta was actually pretty favored in.
Yeah, it's
as
pretty
composed
much
to
their top map too.
Yeah, as opposed to Hellraisers, where they were good on the map, but not necessarily as good on cash. But at the same point in time, Penta, statistically speaking, cash was not one of their greatest maps.
Well, I can tell you, Penta is going to ban Overpass. They've got a 36% win rate versus 61% for Hellraisers. So that's going to be an instant ban right there. But then moving on from that, I mean, Cobblestone, Mirage, Cash, and Dust 2 are all good maps for Penta. And then on the other side, you've got Overpass, Cash, Cobblestone, Dust 2, Mirage. So 4 out of the 4 match up for both of them as their top 4 maps. So it's going to be really interesting. I kind of expect to maybe see Dust 2 in there, and I kind of expect to see maybe Mirage, but most likely Cash or Cobblestone in the grand finals for the maps that are getting picked. So it'll be interesting, guys, but we're going to take a quick break. Don't go anywhere. They're going to swap gear real fast, and we'll be back for our grand final, Penta versus Hellraisers. You don't want to miss it.